Tonight, as part of our ongoing initiative, Chasing the Dream, which focuses on poverty, opportunity, and inequality in America, we focus on the South Bronx, where the site of a once notorious former juvenile detention facility is about to undergo a major transformation. For half a century, the site, located in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx, was home to the Spofford Detention Center. Built in 1957, the facility was designed to detain hundreds of young people from across the city while being processed for offenses large and small. It was closed by the city in 2011 after concerns surfaced over the treatment of youth. And as the juvenile detention population was decreasing, it has been abandoned ever since, until last month. The City Council voted last month to approve a new project that transforms the old jail site into a 5-acre, $300 million campus anchored by 740 units of affordable housing. The project is the latest component of the city's initiative to rejuvenate the South Bronx. And joining me now to talk about the project is Alicia Glenn, New York City Deputy Mayor for Housing and Economic Development. Alicia, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So first, tell us a little bit more about this new housing development that's coming to Hunts Point.
Well, I mean, it's so much more than a housing development, but let me start with that. I mean, as you know, we have an incredibly large affordable housing crisis in New York City. We simply don't have enough housing in general, but we have a particular shortage for low and moderate income folks. And so we have been very focused on making sure that where we have a chance to use our own assets, our own property, that we are going to provide housing for very low-income New Yorkers all the way up to moderate-income New Yorkers. But we also want to just not keep housing isolated, right? These are neighborhoods that need other services, whether it's food and retail and healthcare and childcare. So what we're doing at Spofford is in many ways one of the great examples of what people often call comprehensive community development, right? You no longer want to isolate housing from jobs or services. And the Spofford campus and that redevelopment effort allows us to bring all of these pieces together. Mixed income housing, a great facility for kids at a daycare center, a healthcare facility, manufacturing jobs for people who are in the food industry. And as you know, Hunts Point has a great history of food.
I was going to say there's definitely food to be had at Hunts Point.
So we wanted to, take what are some of the great traditions of the Hunts Point neighborhood and incorporate it in this new model. So this is an incredibly exciting project, not just for the Bronx, but we think also for a model around the country.
All right. So before we go any further, I just want to get a little bit clearer on what we're talking about with affordable housing. Like, of the 740 units, is there a set number? Do we have an idea of what income levels we're talking about?
Sure. I mean, affordable housing, people use that term in a lot of different ways. So we call what I would say capital A, capital H, affordable housing means two things. One, that the rents are set by a regulatory agreement with the city. So the amount of rent is always set at no more than 30% of the income of the family. Because if you pay more than 30% of your income in rent, you're what's called rent burdened, right? So the first part of affordable housing is making sure that it's the right percentage of your overall income. And then the second part of it is what incomes are we trying to serve? And so there's a whole series of incomes, from people who are making $20,000 a year to folks who are making $80,000 a year who are also having trouble finding housing that they can afford. And so each of these units, every single one of the units in this project, will be regulated, both on the income that the family makes and the amount of rent they pay. That's a very unusual model to have 100% of the units be regulated, so they're affordable housing, but affordable for a wide range of people. One of the things that Mayor de Blasio came to do was to really talk about affordable housing in a different way, serve a lot of New Yorkers. There are a lot of folks out there who are working two jobs and can't find a place to live, and we need to house those people as well.
Well, so then also there's the location of this development, not just Hunts Point, but of course the South Bronx. We've been hearing so much about the revitalization. Tell us about this location.
Yeah, I mean, this is in many ways the epicenter of the South Bronx. There are people in the South Bronx who would say there's a lot of sub-neighborhoods in the South Bronx, so Hunts Point is one of them. And so we've been looking all across the South Bronx to have opportunities to begin to develop again, not just very, very low-income housing, but combining low-income housing with moderate-income housing. And again, the jobs, the retail, the services that people need. I mean, there are folks who've lived in the South Bronx for decades who it's like 2 miles until you can buy a quart of milk, right? That can't be right in the city of New York. And so we're looking at a whole series of projects. We have a big, big project that's starting construction. in what we call the lower concourse part of the Bronx, right below where the stadium is. That's been a dilapidated waterfront filled with junk for years. And we're going to do affordable housing there, a hip hop museum, a new park, some retail and a supermarket there. We want to look at all of these parts of the South Bronx that have been either neglected or dilapidated or underused for so many decades and say, what do the residents of the Bronx really need? And they need what every New Yorker needs, right? A great place to live, great open space, a place to go with your kids to take them to the movies. I mean, these are things that New Yorkers deserve. And so we're looking at this in a very holistic way.
All right, and I think that's a great place to leave it. Listen, Alicia, thank you so much for joining us on the show and letting us know what we can expect to see in the South, in the new South Bronx.
The new South Bronx. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.